I just spent the last 12 minutes talking to the camera, realizing that I was filming my phone up and down versus side to side. So, remaking this video, I'm going to go for 10 minutes straight, uncut, um, just talking about kind of my journey on where I got to where I am today, based on food and how I eat now versus how I used to eat. Um, so, I would say I started my healthy eating journey my sophomore year of college. But before I get into that, just a little bit of background info. My freshman year, I was living on campus in a dorm. I was eating dining hall food and eating out like all the time. And obviously, it's not good for you, right? And it showed because I had a whole bunch of acne. Um, I also drank a lot too my freshman year. So that probably didn't help as far as the acne goes. But, you know, it just, I wasn't eating the best. I mean, I feel like that's how most freshmen are in college, right? You don't really know how to cook, or you just really want to eat what's available, right? So I did that. And then my sophomore year of college is when I started getting into eating healthy. I started cooking my food, all of my food. My mom actually made me a cookbook because I moved off campus into student apartments, and I was like, I'm not going to eat out every single day. Like, that's just not good. A, it's expensive, and B, it's bad for you. So I'm just not going to do it. And I didn't want to eat the dining hall food because it was basically the same thing every single day, and I got tired of it so fast. So I was like, all right, fuck that. I want to learn how to cook, right? So my mom made me a cookbook. It had like 10 to 15 different recipes in there, just like basic stuff, super simple stuff like spaghetti, tacos, just easy stuff to make. And I remember the first thing that I made was scrambled eggs. That was the summer before I moved into my student apartments, my sophomore year. So I learned how to make scrambled eggs, and I believe pasta. I also made pasta. So super simple. I know it's just, but it's somewhere to start, right? Because I want to learn how to cook. You got to start somewhere. So I would make very basic stuff like tacos. I know on the side of some of the taco shell boxes, it gives you instructions on how to make it. So I was like, cool, easy enough. All I got to do is follow the instructions on the side of the taco shell box, and I'll be good. So I did that, and it was fire. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep making this. This is good. It's easy. It's kind of fun actually. So got pretty excited about it. Just started out with some basic food, um, nothing too crazy. But then eventually, I started to experiment. So I was like, all right, I want to try different stuff. Like, let's up this a little bit. Let's see what I can make. So to me at the time, steak was hard to make because I mean, anybody who hasn't used a grill before is like, how the hell am I going to make a steak or grill burgers or chicken on there? Like, how do I know it's done? Right. So that was a challenge. I don't remember the first time I had steak, whether it was good or not. Probably wasn't the best, but just with anything takes practice, and then you'll eventually get good at it. So, just started experimenting different things, and eventually got to where I am today. Now that I know the things that I do about food, I know what I want to avoid and what I want to keep eating and eat more of, right? So I'm sure y'all know I focus heavily on eating whole foods, right? Um, Stuff that has ingredients that your grandparents or your great grandparents would recognize. Because nowadays there's a bunch of processed food with all these ingredients like red 40, high fructose corn syrup, stuff like that, which uh, if you have it on occasions, fine. Like, it's not going to wreck your health or anything like that. But if you consistently eat processed foods that have ingredients like that and ingredients that you can't even pronounce, like, I'm sorry, but like, what makes you think that's okay? Like, why do you want to put that in your body? It just doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I focus on whole foods that come out of the ground, um, from plants, from trees, from animals, like animal meats. It's where a lot of protein comes from. If you're a athlete or bodybuilder, you got to eat a lot of protein to build muscle and things like that. So, you know, just kind of started eating whole foods. From my sophomore year of college to where I am now, I slowly moved in that direction. It wasn't just like cold turkey, like I'm gonna just only eat whole foods. I do remember there was one day Um, about 2 years ago, I was on Instagram and I saw this guy. His name's I don't know how you say it. It's either Kian or Kian Fit. Um, I just noticed how he ate. It was all food that you would recognize, and it was clean. So I was like, dang, I kind of want to eat like that. So I just kept seeing his videos, and I was like, all right. I remember. I don't remember exactly the exact day, but I remember the decision that I made. I was like, all right, this is it. I'm going to eat only whole foods. Now, I didn't follow that exactly because I wasn't quite sure what whole foods really meant. I did to an extent, but to where I am now compared to 2 years ago, I look at every single ingredient that is on a package. If I'm buying something in a package, I make sure, first of all, I can pronounce the ingredient. And second of all, like, where does it come from? What is it? Like, is it natural, basically? So I try to focus on natural foods versus like a chemical made in a lab. Like, that's just how I look at it. If I don't know where it came from or how to pronounce it, it came from a lab. Simple as that. And I don't want an artificially made ingredient going in my body for the most part, right? Now, there are times where I'll have a cookie or ice cream that I know is not good for me, but I used to enjoy it. So why not enjoy it now too? Just on occasions, not all the time. Um, so that's kind of my approach on what I eat and how I look at different foods to see where it comes from, what's in it, what is it. Um, and that's kind of been my journey um, from my sophomore year of college to where I am now. So that is a total of, God damn, 4 or 5 years now. I just turned 24. I feel like an old fuck, honestly. 24 is young, I know that, but I just like 24. Damn, 25, a quarter of a century. Jesus. Anyways, um, but yeah, that's kind of my journey from where I started to where I am now. I really enjoy it. I'm trying to get better. There was one point where I would just got way too into it. Like, I would try new recipes every single day. I would try to create some sort of like unrealistic balance in every single meal. Like, I just went so far like into it at one point that I was like, all right, this is too much. I need to kind of relax a little bit. So now I'm starting to eat out only up to about 3 or 4 times a week. That's 20% of your meals if you think about it. So I'm trying to promote like this 80-20 rule where you eat 80% of your food in the kitchen, like you make 80% of your food and eat 20% of it out, right? I just feel like that's a good rule to follow. That way you're prioritizing whole foods and or healthier options. I understand not everybody has access to whole foods and not everybody knows how to cook, but for the most part, eating healthier foods is definitely something that I think everybody should prioritize. And then enjoying other things that aren't so good for you on occasions, right? Like, I'll eat a burger out. I'll honestly, one thing though that I won't really eat anymore is fried food. I just, I don't know, kind of freaks me out a little bit knowing what's in it. Now that I know what's in it, um, but I mean, I will. I prefer to get grilled chicken. I think it tastes better anyways if done right. So yeah, and I'll get ice cream. I'll get cookies. If I don't eat it, like for example, like a cookie or something in a box, like if I don't eat it before it expires, then I'll just throw it in the freezer, right? Because then it stays fresher longer. So yeah, I don't know, just stuff like that. I only have like 2 to 3 times a week, if that, and that's not that much because if you think about it, you're having if on well, I don't know about on average, but like I have 21 meals a week. 3 meals a day times 7 days a week is 21 meals. I don't know if you want to count smoothies, protein shakes, or like a big ass yogurt bowl. That's a snack, I think. So yeah, I have three. Let's just say 3 to 4 meals a day. So I don't know where I was going with this, to be honest, but just more of the story. Prioritize whole foods. Still enjoy the foods that you like, but on occasion, right? Like once, twice, 3 times a week, 4 times at most, if you're eating 21 meals a week. Probably a lot of numbers being thrown out. Doesn't really make sense. Just prioritize whole foods. And I promise you, you will feel so much better. My mental clarity is like unmatched. I stopped smoking. I stopped drinking as much. And I just feel like my mental clarity is just so much better. Um, so if you watch this far, I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you've watched this far. If you do comment, and I know you personally, I will send you $5. No cap. So comment that. And also, if you want to see a certain type of video about, a topic of food or what foods to avoid, anything food related, comment it below, and then I'll make a video on it, like this one, like a longer form video. Um, and I kind of just share my opinion and give you some insight on what exactly it is, and then we can go from there. So appreciate you again. I'll have another video coming out next Wednesday, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one.